So China just casually dropped the most mind-blowing lunar discovery in 50 years, and somehow nobody's losing their minds about it. I'm talking about something so weird, so unexpected, that NASA scientists literally had to rewrite textbooks. And no, it's not aliens, but honestly, what they actually found might be even stranger. Stay with me here because by the end of this video, you're gonna understand why every space agency on Earth is now in an absolute frenzy to get back to the moon, and why China is keeping some of what they found very, very quiet. Let me show you something that's going to change how you think about Earth's closest neighbor forever. December 2020. China does something only 2 other nations have ever pulled off. They stick a perfect landing on the moon. But here's where it gets spicy. They didn't land on the bright side where everyone hangs out like it's a cosmic beach party. No, they went full rebel mode and touched down in the South Pole Aitken Basin, which is basically the moon's dramatic backstory made physical. This crater is so absurdly massive that you could fit all of Europe inside it with room left over for a couple of spare countries. It's 4 miles deep and older than your great-great-great-grandmother's fossilized ancient yogurt. Scientists think this crater formed about 4 billion years ago when something the size of a small planet said, "Watch this," and absolutely demolished the moon's face. Now here's what makes China's mission absolutely bonkers. While NASA and Russia were doing their thing on the near side, taking moon selfies and planting flags like they're claiming territory at an intergalactic barbecue, China's Chang'e 5 mission was drilling into parts of the moon that haven't seen sunlight since dinosaurs were just a gleam in evolution's eye. The robot they sent, and I kid you not, worked in temperatures that would make Antarctica look like a tropical vacation. We're talking -280 degrees Fahrenheit. That's so cold that if you breathed there, your lungs would literally crystallize mid-inhale. But China's little robot buddy didn't just survive, it thrived. And what it found in that ancient cosmic scar is about to flip lunar science on its head. So the Chinese lander starts scooping up moon dirt, right? Standard procedure. Except when they analyzed the samples, they found these tiny glass beads scattered throughout the soil, like someone had a really wild party up there 4 billion years ago. Now you might be thinking, glass? Big deal. My Aunt Cheryl makes glass beads in her garage. But hold on. These aren't your craft store variety beads. These things formed when massive asteroid impacts hit the lunar surface with such ridiculous force that they literally melted the rock and splashed it into space. Picture this, rock getting so hot it turns into liquid, flying through the vacuum of space and freezing into perfect little spheres before falling back down. It's like the universe's most extreme glass-blowing session. But here's where your brain should start tingling. Inside these glass beads, Chinese scientists found water. Not a lot, we're not talking about lunar swimming pools here, but enough to make every space agency on Earth sit up and spill their coffee. We're talking about water molecules trapped inside glass for potentially billions of years, preserved like the universe's most boring time capsule. Except it's not boring at all, because this water is everywhere. The Chinese team estimated there could be trillions of these little water-filled glass beads covering the moon's surface. That's not a typo. Trillions! Suddenly, the moon went from being a dead, dry rock to basically a giant water storage facility that's just really bad at advertising. And if you're thinking, okay, cool, moon water, so what? Then buckle up, Buttercup, because this changes everything about future space exploration. But wait, there's more, and this is where things get properly weird. The Chinese mission brought back about 4 pounds of moon rock. For context, that's roughly the weight of 2 chihuahuas, which seems unimpressive until you realize these are the first fresh moon samples returned to Earth in 44 years. NASA's been working with the same crusty moon rocks since 1972, analyzing them so many times they probably have individual names and birthday parties. So when China cracks open their samples, scientists worldwide are leaning in like it's the season finale of their favorite show. and the moon absolutely delivers. Inside those samples, they found volcanic rock that's only 2 billion years old. Now you're probably thinking, 2 billion years old is young? And yeah, in moon terms, this is basically teenage rebellion. Every model, every theory, every confident proclamation scientists had made about lunar volcanism said the moon should have been geologically dead by this point. The moon's small. It should have cooled off faster than a hot pocket in a snowstorm. There shouldn't be any volcanic activity this recent. But there it was, staring back at them like the moon was saying, "Surprise, I'm way more interesting than you thought." This means the moon stayed volcanically active for at least 1 billion years longer than anyone predicted. That's not a small oopsie in the calculations. That's like thinking someone's 30 and finding out they're actually a teenager. The implications here are massive because it means we fundamentally misunderstood how planetary bodies cool and die. It's like finding out your elderly neighbor is secretly doing parkour. Now, if you thought we were done with plot twists, the moon's just getting started. Chinese scientists discovered a completely new mineral in their samples. They named it Chang'e Y, which sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, but is absolutely real. This is only the 6th new lunar mineral ever discovered, and the first one found in over 40 years. To put that in perspective, finding a new mineral on the moon is like finding a new species of dinosaur. It just doesn't happen every Tuesday. Chang'e is a phosphate mineral that forms in columns so tiny you'd need an electron microscope to see them properly. It contains helium-3, which is where things get economically spicy. Helium-3 is rarer than a polite internet comment section here on Earth. But apparently the moon's been hoarding it like a cosmic doomsday prepper. This stuff is the holy grail of future fusion energy. We're talking about a potential fuel source so efficient that a single space shuttle cargo bay full of it could theoretically power the entire United States for a year. The moon might be sitting on enough helium-3 to solve Earth's energy problems for millennia. Suddenly, every nation with a space program is looking at the moon like it just won the lottery. China's discovery isn't just scientifically interesting, it's economically revolutionary. We're potentially looking at a new space race. But this time, it's not about flags and footprints, it's about mining rights and energy independence. The moon went from being a romantic backdrop for poetry to being prime real estate. And China just published the most enticing property listing in solar system history. But here's where stuff gets genuinely mysterious. And I mean genuinely in the scientists are scratching their heads kind of way. Some of the rocks China brought back are magnetic. Now pause for a second and think about that. The moon doesn't have a magnetic field. It's one of the moon's defining features, like a celebrity known for not having eyebrows. Earth has a magnetic field because we've got a molten iron core swishing around like a planetary lava lamp, generating magnetic forces that protect us from solar radiation and give us pretty auroras. The moon? Nothing. Dead as a doornail, magnetically speaking. It hasn't had a magnetic field for billions of years. So why are these rocks magnetic? The leading theory is that these rocks formed when the moon did have a magnetic field, way back in its youth before it went through its geological midlife crisis and everything shut down. But here's the thing. If the moon had a strong enough magnetic field to magnetize rocks, that means its core was way more active than we thought, for way longer than we thought. It's like finding out your quiet, reserved friend used to be a professional wrestler. Everything we thought we understood about the moon's thermal evolution might need a serious revision. And there's another wrinkle that's keeping scientists up at night. Some of these magnetic signatures don't match any known lunar formation process. They're anomalous, weird, the kind of data that makes peer reviewers raise their eyebrows and start asking uncomfortable questions. China's published some findings, but there are whispers in the scientific community that they're holding back certain details for further analysis, which is perfectly normal in science, but also drives space enthusiasts absolutely bonkers with curiosity. So let's zoom out and talk about what all of this actually means for you, me, and the future of our species. First up, That water trapped in glass beads? Game changer for space exploration. Right now, sending humans to the moon or Mars is phenomenally expensive, partly because you have to bring all your water with you. Water is heavy, and in space, every pound costs thousands of dollars to launch. But if we can extract water directly from the lunar surface, suddenly moon bases become way more feasible. We're talking about drinking water, oxygen for breathing, and even rocket fuel, all sourced locally. The moon becomes a gas station and rest stop for deeper space exploration. Then there's the helium-3 situation. If we can figure out fusion energy, and that's admittedly a massive if that scientists have been working on for decades, the moon could literally power human civilization for centuries. We're talking about clean energy with minimal radioactive waste. No more coal plants, no more debates about fossil fuels, just abundant energy beamed down from lunar mining operations. It sounds like science fiction, but China's discovery just made it scientifically plausible. The younger volcanic activity tells us that planetary bodies are more dynamic and interesting than our models suggested, which has implications for how we understand every rocky planet and moon in our solar system. Mars, Europa, Enceladus, all these places might be more geologically active than we assumed, which means they might be more likely to harbor life, or at least conditions suitable for future human habitation. And that new mineral? Beyond the helium-3, it expands our understanding of how minerals form in low-gravity, high-radiation environments, which is crucial knowledge for future space manufacturing and construction. Here's the bottom line and why you should care, even if you're not a space nerd. China didn't just find some cool rocks on the moon. They fundamentally altered our understanding of our closest cosmic neighbor and potentially unlocked the key to humanity's expansion into the solar system. That barren gray ball we've been staring at for millennia, it's not barren. It's not dead. It's a resource-rich, scientifically fascinating world that's been hiding its secrets in plain sight. And now, every major nation is planning return missions. NASA's Artemis program aims to establish a permanent lunar presence. Russia and China are collaborating on their own moon base. Private companies like SpaceX are getting in on the action. We're witnessing the beginning of a new space age, and it's not driven by political rivalry like the Cold War era. It's driven by scientific discovery and economic opportunity. The moon is about to get very crowded very quickly. So the next time you look up at that pale disk in the night sky, remember it's not just a romantic backdrop or a symbol in poetry. It's a world filled with ancient volcanic glass, mysterious magnetic rocks, and enough water and helium-3 to potentially transform human civilization. China found all of that, and they're not done exploring. Neither is anyone else. The real question isn't what China found on the moon. The real question is, what else is up there waiting to be discovered, and who's going to find it first? If this video made you see the moon differently, smash that like button and subscribe because we're just getting started with space content that'll blow your mind. Drop a comment telling me what you think we'll find next on the moon. My money's on ancient alien Starbucks, but I might be biased. I'll see you in the next one, Space Cadets.